Welcome to the Be the Exception podcast.
Welcome.
I don't know what episode number this is, but we're basically just going to talk about CrossFit and Grid, probably, and Dissident, and Blacklisted.
The state of all of them.
The state of the state.
We're addressing the state of them.
You know, we said we weren't going to say that, and now
now it's
too late.
Yeah.
No, I said we're addressing the state of them. I didn't say it's the state address. There it is.
You said the State of the Union, wasn't it?
No. I don't know.
Okay. What questions do you have?
Well,
that's full.
So everyone who doesn't know, Dan doesn't know anything about CrossFit.
it's been
right now.
I'm a little checked out. I've had a
Dan's so into Grid that
It's
he
true.
doesn't know anything about CrossFit.
Yeah. So we're going to tell him about the current state of CrossFit.
Yeah. So give me a little bit of background. Essentially, is like what events
What do you know about CrossFit right now? Like, what was the last time you what was the qualifying process the last time you paid attention to CrossFit?
Oh,
Please say regionals.
yeah, that's about right. Like when I was actually paying attention fully, I think it was regionals right before it switched to sanctionals or whatever the fuck's like 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was still
2019.
programming for you, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like
I
I think
forgot you were like the first actual coach I had.
I wouldn't go that far, but sure. Yeah.
Hell, what do you
The
mean?
first programmer. How about that?
Coach me a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was your first coach, but anyway, I think then is the last time I was like involved because 2017 we first moved here is when you and I first met, and I was over at Training Think Tank for a while, and I was involved with it that winter until like February, and then I just started dying out more and more and more and being more involved with the swimming world. So I guess I never fully understood all the qualification stuff after regionals because
Okay.
that I would it's kind of funny to say regionals because that probably is like the hard line of my last full involvement was the last year of regionals.
Yeah.
So
RIP.
so I guess briefly walk me through that, like this whole sanctional shit and like what it's bled into now.
Okay, well, yeah. I think everybody knows the history of what is going on now. I think this year is actually super confusing.
Yeah.
I had to draw it up on the whiteboard of exactly what is going on. I'm going to have to pull up the picture of it because it's
That checks
confusing
out.
as shit.
It's a pyramid.
It's a pyramid. It is literally a pyramid
so-
scheme. with two smaller pyramids on either side.
So is it like Ron Swanson's pyramid of
No, like look at this. It's a pyramid.
40 game spots.
So there's 40 game spots. That's like the base or like the top of the pyramid is the games, right?
Yeah.
The next layer is the open. And so they're taking
The open.
Yeah, kind of weird, right?
So there's no quarterfinal or anything this year?
Okay, so hold on.
Okay.
You're getting ahead of yourself, Dan.
My bad.
So the open is like it's like top of the pyramid's 40 game spots.
40
Then we
games.
come down to the open, and that starts the season.
Okay.
Top 1% from the open move on to in-affiliate semifinals.
What? Does that go up towards the games?
No.
Or That goes.
We'll circle it all back.
Okay.
We'll circle it all back. So the open goes top 1% to in-affiliate semi.
Affiliate semi. So people have to be at an affiliate.
Have to be at an affiliated gym.
Okay.
Uh,
That's how it used to be, though, right?
this just basically replaced quarterfinals.
So the in affiliate semis is that it didn't. You have to do the open in order to go to the regionals. Didn't you have to do the open at an affiliated place anyway?
No.
Really?
You could submit a video.
Oh, that's right. I
Yeah,
forgot
and
about
you can still submit a video in the open, which I didn't understand fully until literally like 2 weeks ago. So you can still do video submissions in the open,
that. All right.
which is kind of nice.
It is kind of nice.
They should never get rid of that.
But the videos they had you look at when you try to get your level 3 were grainy as fuck.
I never got my level 3.
Yeah, me either. I failed it. It's the only fucking test at that level that I failed.
Oh,
And it pissed me off.
you have to judge people?
Like they have you look at the videos and whatnot.
Oh, and
Out
then
of the-
choose which movement that isn't done correctly
out
to
of the
CrossFit
160
standards.
questions, I'll never fucking forget this. Out of the 160 questions, 157 of them were all these answers are right, but which one's the best right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking annoying.
Yeah, it really, really is. Like no
That's
better
stupid.
way of brainwashing in my mind. than like have a fucking 99% test. 99% of the questions be a test like that. Like that's just fucking dumb.
Isn't that pretty subjective?
Yes.
Like testing people on something like
Right. You're trying to get people to conform their mind to what them, the organization, just like the
So when I
CSCS.
This is okay. We're on tangents right now. Apologies, listeners. When I took my first level 2, it was in 2016.
Before the exam.
Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah, I got mine in 2016 also here downtown.
Yeah. Now, granted, I was a much less experienced coach at the time, but I still remember being like, wow, these people understand movement. They're talking about movement quality.
Yeah,
it's
great.
They're fine with using different cues for things. They're like, as long as you get the person moving the way that we have into their key points of performance or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't care. I retook it last year and was like, all right, like I didn't really study anything for it. I was like, I'm just gonna go do this.
It was completely different, wasn't it?
Completely different. I had to go teach by the KPIs. I was like the lady that was running it for me. I was like trying to coach somebody through like a push jerk or something like that. And basically told me like that was atrocious. I was like, what the fuck? So I went back and I like looked at the KPI, like there's actual like a KPI section and like a progression that they want you to go through.
Of course.
The next day I came back and just taught that, and she was like, so much better, way improved, yada yada. I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb. Yeah. I hate that.
I liked the USAW at level 1 I took with Tom.
Shout out Tom Stroke.
Right, and I feel like I only liked that course because it was Tom coaching it, teaching it. I don't know anything about how anyone else does it, but like he did that where it was like, this is how USAW wants you to teach the like clean, and then Tom was like, this is what you need to know for the test.
Yeah.
You can teach it this way if you want, but like there's a million ways to say that.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Right. Which is what my original one was.
And that's why I liked it.
A lot of USAW, the two that I did were like that as well. I had Ursula for my first one.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And she was funny. Showed up late. Just a little hungover, it seemed. But like same shit. But so
hopefully USAW does not listen to this podcast.
No, I'm okay.
People
they won't.
No, just joking. I don't know if she's hungover. So circling it.
Okay, so coming back to the actual
in affiliate, the 1%.
So the 1% from the Open worldwide move on to in affiliate semifinals.
And since they had a 200,000 less participants this year,
not that many.
I know
it was a 30% drop.
Jesus Christ,
32% act is what I saw last.
That's wild.
Pretty big drop. Yeah. So based off of the calculations that I did. The guys literally, so they have minimum requirements. So
what are they?
1,200.
Like 1,200
athletes.
Okay.
So like if it's the top 1% is under 1,200,
then they take the next.
They take 1,200.
Okay.
So based off of the calculations that I did, which are not fully accurate, the guys hit it like on the dot, 1,200 on the dot, basically. Okay. The ladies did not. There's like 900 ladies that is top 1%. And so they're getting backfill spots to 1,200, basically.
Okay.
So 1,200 athletes in the world go compete at in-affiliate semifinals.
In-affiliates.
Yep. So we only cared about the American side of things, so we only mapped out the American side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So they're also doing in-person semifinals as well. And there's 4 of them. So you have in-affiliate, you have Mayhem Classic, you have NorCal Classic, you have TFX Invitational, and you have Syndicate Ground.
Those 5 are
the qualification processes to go to the games.
So if you win those, you get an automatic bid?
So the in-affiliate semifinals, where everybody worldwide is competing against each other.
Yeah.
The top 20 of those get a game spot. So half of the field comes from the in-affiliate semifinals.
So with the in-affiliate semifinals, if you qualify for that in America, those are the 5 locations you go to, or the 5 things you attend?
An American technically has four 5 places they can compete for a game spot. And I will explain how that is not the case, actually. They have 2 options for the most part. But yes, they have 5 options technically to compete to go to a game spot.
So the in-affiliate semis are at
an affiliate.
One of those 5 things.
No, the in-affiliate semifinals are at an affiliate. Those will take place on May 4th, 5th, and 6th.
So then the top 20
go to the games. So that's worldwide, though.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep, I got it now. Yep.
So now we have to go.
It's very streamlined.
So far. Yeah, so
far. America has 4 in-affiliate semifinals. Or in-person semifinals.
Okay.
They have the Mayhem Classic. They have TFX Invitational. They have Syndicate Crown. And they have NorCal Classic.
Wasn't there a 5th one in there?
The 5th one was the in-affiliate semifinals.
Okay.
But we're done with that. Top 20 from the in-affiliate go to the games.
Okay.
Now, Mayhem Classic did some ranking system. I don't know where they got the point ranking system from. I Googled it last night. And so if you're in that ranking system, they invited you to their competition.
It seems a little
unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no technically no qualifying process for it.
Conflict of interest.
And a huge conflict of interest because they have quite a few of their athletes competing there, and 2, they're doing the fucking programming, and one of their workouts just got released. So that probably means that they're telling some of their athletes about the workouts, and then they're going and telling other people.
Nah, I see no.
Unless it's a marketing scheme to get more people to pay attention to their event.
It's a possibility, but why not both?
Why not both? I mean, I think they turned it into a marketing opportunity.
Yeah.
Again, speculation, but
of course.
One of their events got released. A huge conflict of interest, especially.
I mean, it makes
huge conflict.
It makes sense, because I mean, Rich is the golden boy of CrossFit.
He's on some board now. I can't remember which board he's on.
It's like the
athlete safety board.
Yeah, that's it. Which I mean, look, from that standpoint of stuff, I get it. I mean, he's the face, really, right?
I mean,
to a degree.
Yeah.
He's the only multi CrossFit Games champion next to Tia Claire Toomey that's constantly talked about.
Yeah.
And Matt Frazier, how much have you heard about him? Other than prove, I genuine question, honestly, because I've not. I hear more about Rich than I do Matt.
Yeah, because Matt kind of stepped away from CrossFit in general.
He kind of did it all and was like, all right.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
That's fair. So
Mayhem Classic, invite only off of the point system that they have, which I didn't spend much time trying to research or figure out what that point system was. I just read it.
Right.
Are you going for memes right now?
No, I was gonna look.
Oh yeah, if you can find that point system, that'd be see if you can find it.
Then TFX.
Then let's go over to the NorCal Classic.
NorCal Classic, yeah, because that's Khalipa's, right?
I have no idea who runs that.
He doesn't anymore.
Maybe he does. I don't know.
Okay.
But the NorCal Classic qualifiers for this event were back in January.
Oh.
They were 3 weeks long. January or December. They were 3 weeks long. And it wasn't announced that it was a semifinal until the qualifiers started, I believe.
Isn't that withholding information?
One would think so. It was either a week before they started or they started and then they were we're a semifinal.
Oh, yeah, about that.
So you had people that basically were not prepping for this thing, trying to qualify for it to go compete at a semifinal.
Damn.
So basically, Mayhem Classic, not available for the lay athlete. NorCal Classic had to be 100% in the know and paying attention to everything that was going on to sign up for their qualifier. And that one actually, I believe, is international too. So you can go compete at.
It's making more sense now as to why America only has really 2 options here.
You found the point system?
So it's I'm just reading what this shit says.
Is it AI?
No.
Oh,
it says the Mayhem 2025 Classic stands out from regular qualifying events with its exclusive invitation-only format, and it's using the time-tested Rogue point system to review athletes based on their multi-year performances.
So they're using data points across the year. then.
It seems like
it actually does seem like a good system, but I think there's a very like if you're an up and coming athlete, you're not in that system.
So it says
that's a little off for
uses results from the CrossFit Games, previous Rogue Invitational, and the Open and quarterfinals.
So you're only getting
you have to at least
it sounds like pretty much the only way you're getting Rogue points
if you've done something
is if you've done if you're a gatekeeper.
Yeah, that's I would agree to that.
You gotta keep the cool kids club the cool kids club. You know what I mean?
True. So that one's a very exclusive event, which whatever. So basically we're down to
NorCal's exclusive too. Because you had to be in the know.
Be in the know, which it isn't, but the way that they announced the semifinal process was messed up.
And but also TFX people didn't even know it was a qualifying event when they fucking signed up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
So TFX, okay, so let's go into the Syndicate Crown and TFX. So TFX, I have no idea all the qualification processes for TFX. So I had an athlete compete at TFX. So when it was announced that TFX was a semifinal, they then announced that if you were competing at the TFX in Taylor, Texas, and you won, you got an automatic bid to the TFX Invitational. I have a client who is on a team at TFX. They got third place, and she is going to compete as an individual. She got an invite to go compete as an individual at the TFX
Who's
Invitational. Sammy. Okay. I just started with her. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's like an RX division. It could be an RX division. I was trying to get as much information from her as possible about it. But it could be an RX division spot or something like that. It could be the individual spot. I'm not really sure. But she got an invite to go compete there.
All right.
Now, for the rest of these qualifying spots for these events, we have to go back to the Open, where the Syndicate Crown and the TFX Invitational have teamed up and divided the U.S. back to the old quarterfinals formats of West and East using the absolutely ridiculous landmark of the Mississippi River as the dividing line.
That is the dead center of America.
The Mississippi?
I'm being quite facetious.
Okay.
They should use the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah.
So, thank you for educating me on that.
Oh, hold on.
I hate. There's more?
It gets worse. So, we have the East and the West. TFX Invitational is the West. Syndicate Crown is the East. The top. Hold on,
No fucking wonder a lot of people would bowed out of the season.
The top 20 in the Open.
Worldwide.
No. In the East and the West.
Okay.
Go to get invites to the Syndicate Crown or the TFX Invitational.
Okay. So I can see. Look, this is chaotic.
Hold on.
Okay.
We're not done.
Oh my God.
Then, to get the rest of the competitors at these competitions, we go to the in-affiliate semifinals again. And TFX Invitational and the Syndicate Crown will then take the top 10 in the Northeast and the West from the in-affiliate semifinals to round out their competition.
But wait, who goes to the games from the semifinals?
The top two.
Two?
The first and second place.
So,
from the in-affiliate semifinals?
Yeah.
Top 20 in the world.
Go to the games.
Go to the games. And then...
Wow, this is fucking confusing.
Yes. And then the top 10 from the Northeast and the Northwest go to... Separately. Go to TFX Invitational and go to Syndicate Crown. Unless you are one of the athletes that qualified for the games.
I bet say then they're going to backfill probably.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is it's a more complicated structure to match it back to regionals.
Oh, it's way more complicated than regionals.
No, I know that. What I'm doing my best to draw here is like
regionals. The thing about regionals is it wasn't exclusive.
Right.
Everybody earned their spot to go.
Right.
Which is what, in my opinion, everybody loved about it. Everybody was on an equal playing field. Now you have Mayhem Classic, invite only, based off of previous games performance. So you're gatekeeping.
Well, I mean specifically between like those two.
Those two,
the Syndicate and TFX, right?
Yeah.
Like those two sound like a complicated but closer version of what regionals was, but
closer,
not, yeah. So like, why? What was the problem with regionals to where like, it evolved to like it went from regionals to like old people picking up fucking blue gallon jugs to
so
now this.
So
like,
back in 2018, Glassman.
Sorry, I'm pissed.
So back in 2018, Glassman shut down all the social media content.
I remember that.
Yep. And that basically started the downfall of
the sports side.
The sports side of things, yeah. When they did that, that was the last year of regionals. And I don't know what the decision process was there. Who decided to just kill regionals, which is crazy because this is, I think, one of the big reasons why people have complaints about this whole process is if you've been in it since 2018, you remember that CBS was asking for more broadcasting rights for regionals.
Yeah.
Which means it was getting popular and gaining.
Well, didn't Glassman just have a big problem with it being a sport when it was just meant to be
I think that was some of the big drama was he was
trying to make people healthy.
It seemed like he was pissed that the games were taking off over
his original
idea.
Which, I mean, honestly, like I applaud him for that. I didn't know about like the 2005 or 2006 original gathering where they did like a workouts and cookout or some shit.
Back when it was even cooler than it was.
Yeah,
cool back in the day.
Like before they went to the farm, I think. Like what was that fucking documentary with
like the ranch?
Yeah. What was
2007 was the first CrossFit Games.
Yeah. So like, I guess the 2006 was like the cookout and the workout.
Okay.
Or something, right?
I don't remember that. I don't remember.
Well,
that.
I only found out about it through one of my papers for my thesis that I had to write for my master's, and I didn't know that information was there.
Yeah.
It took a lot of digging, but like. I think CrossFit is a great methodology for sure for what his original vision was.
I agree.
I think it should have been fine to evolve into a sport. I don't think he should have gotten his butt hurt about it if he did. Like, who the fuck knows what actually happened? We know like Dave Castro a bitch. So like, I mean,
well, this is the other thing is like
I need to calm down.
This is the other thing is if you go and look at all the social media accounts which drive traction for everything in today's day and age, the games has more followers than the brand.
Yeah, I always did notice that.
So the games are always going to be your driving factor for...
It's got sex appeal.
Right. It's got everything you want out of a marketing standpoint.
It's got, hot chicks in see-through white shorts. You got people like Travis Williams wearing white pants at TFX. So everyone can see his poop stain. It just draws attraction.
Man, we've thrown so many people under the bus in this episode.
Oh, shit.
Did you turn it on or off? Wow.
Test.
That's unfortunate. Is it on?
I can't see because you're talking. Are we good? We're good. Sorry. Well, I'm not meaning to throw people under the bus. Like I'm speaking of events that happened, right? Just, if people can't handle matter-of-fact information, I'm sorry, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, fair. But, well, I just think it's interesting, like, because I started CrossFit in 2019.
2019, yeah.
Was that was when it was still sanctionals.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool being new because I was like, oh,
it wasn't a bad concept.
It
overall.
Really wasn't. Well, it really wasn't.
Well, in my second year, 2020, I was like, oh, I'll do the open, because the top, 20 in the open went to the games or whatever, top 10, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, you could do the open if you want, and then you can also do the qualifiers for whatever sanctional you want.
The sanctionals were throughout the year.
Right? Yeah, they were actually a good business model to grow the sport from an athlete standpoint.
And I liked it because I ended up doing I did the Dubai one, I did
you did Granite Games,
the Granite Games one, I did the freaking
that one was great until they moved it.
The Mid-Atlantic one,
I know.
Like they were all really fun, different online qualifiers, but there's
TFX was a sanctional too, right?
No, I don't think it was.
They never did.
No. This is the first time they've been a sanctional.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay, I was just gonna say and then when they changed it to quarterfinals, and I still liked it because it was like, 5-week open still, and then you qualify the 5-week open. You get like a month break or whatever, or a 2-month break, and then you get a weekend of like 5 workouts that you need to get done from like Thursday to Monday or whatever, or Tuesday.
Right.
And I thought that was fun and super cool.
Yeah.
And then I thought that was working pretty like.
It definitely wasn't like the regionals format.
No, because I think that is the best, but I just didn't experience it.
Yeah.
And then after that, when they started changing, like now it's a 3-week accessible open.
They've combined all of them.
How
can all right, I'm done.
How can you test? How can you test and gauge other than like doing subjective testing on your own, but like, with an international test or whatever? Like, how can you test and gauge your fitness level year to year?
Right.
With this type of structure now?
Yeah, I mean, so I don't give a fuck, honestly, about testing fitness level year to year.
That's fair.
The qualifiers in the sport are too chaotic to genuinely do that with the open.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
You have to come back and in your training run testers to see if you're actually fitter year over year. You have benchmarks that you hit with your athletes, right?
Or get on better sauce.
Or that. But this sanctionals was cool. It would have grown the sport. It was great for the athletes because they got to compete at a lot of different events. But it was chaotic. It was chaos. But the nice thing about it is they kept it. All the events had to run qualifiers because they needed to make money. So no matter what, you had a qualifying process for that event. Mayhem is so fucking big that they can take a proverbial loss. Obviously, I don't know what the money metrics are behind it. They might not actually having that space.
Yeah.
And not care about the monetary aspect.
And that's Rich's property, right?
I believe so, yeah. So they can literally do whatever they want and make it an exclusive event.
Yeah.
Obviously, I get it. It's not. There's a rogue ranking system, but they can make it a gatekeeper event, right?
It may be a good evolutionary thing for the sport side of things. Like with this chaos, like maybe Mayhem or Rich or whatever the fuck could be. They can bring upon what I'm looking for here, like solitude. Is that the right word to use here for this sport? So I'm trying to say like it's chaos. Like right now, it's rough seas, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe this whole Mayhem thing could potentially be like the calming effect that's needed. I don't know. Am I being?
You're saying it's a good thing?
Not this whole fucking thing. No, like eventually, like with Mayhem like having gatekeeper? Would that be a good thing for the sport?
For the sport,
okay, that's completely fair. I don't know.
The way that I look at it is like gatekeepers. There needs to be some certainty for athletes year over year, right?
Yeah.
So there does need to be some gatekeeping aspect to it. But the way that they're doing it is they're closing it off entirely to up and comers. And so I guess you could argue that the other avenues to go, the 3 other or 4 other, if you count the in-affiliate, are like those are the up and coming events, and we're gonna gatekeep with the Mayhem event. I just don't agree that Mayhem should have their own.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. And I don't mean for this year. I just mean like I was trying to look like years down the road. Like this, I'm thankful, speaking selfishly, that I've been like checked out of the CrossFit world for a while now. And only really focused more on like the sciencey side of shit and how to get swimming more integrated into it and getting grid, getting involved with getting grid, helping get grid to grow. I mean, fuck shit like this.
Yeah,
is why grid is growing. A big like catalyst for it.
Right.
But
and high rocks
and high rocks. But like so
it's exploding, dude.
It seems like there's a civil war, quote unquote, like within CrossFit on the sports side of shit. So now like looking external.
I don't even know if it's the sports side. I think it's just the leadership side.
Yeah. I mean, with what happened with Lazar last year, that didn't help with anything.
Well, that I think that's where everything stems from. I think you had people that were
it was a boiling point.
Yeah. Like people were kind of pissed off.
I mean, who were all the big names
annoyed
that recently did like the black and white photo of stepping away?
You'd have to No, that was something else. But you'd have to look at. I think Morning Chalk Up did a list of all the athletes that were not competing this year.
Yeah, that's right. They did.
Yeah.
I think it was the last straw because everyone had been so frustrated with the constant changes, stupid rules, just like all this
bullshit,
like, annoying bullshit to something that should just be something should be simple.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah.
And I think people are just like, all right, fuck this.
So yeah.
These people are doing like pretty straight. Like half my gym is doing high rocks, competitions
because it's you sign up.
You just
go,
sign up and you go.
Yeah.
And then if you do really well, you go to a national event somewhere.
Right.
Is High Rocks like an indoor Spartan race?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's essentially.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. So
I honestly think that part right there alone is really cool for people who don't like sunlight and vampires.
Well, okay. So here, High Rocks. Yeah. High Rock, like, yes, there's a very streamlined process to things, and like I think one of the I just did a podcast with Mark from Thick Boy, and he was talking about how one of the biggest complaints is there's no communication from CrossFit. There's just decisions that are made, and then it's just like
that's not okay.
Right. There's no leadership aspect. It's like a terrible leadership.
The grips thing, they randomly decided to ban these.
Randomly decided to ban the grips.
Wait, and then and then they went back.
They flip flopped, because their
sponsor was a.
What are you talking about? What grips got banned?
I don't even know what you call them, but like the synthetic grips got banned. Yeah. And then the athlete council, was it the athlete council?
What's a synthetic grip?
Like a frog grip or X podium grip.
Yeah. Anything that's like the plastic kind of like almost sticky material.
Aren't they all that way?
No.
A lot of them.
A lot of them are now because they work well.
Yeah.
And they, like when you like, so this is my thing. I sweat, which also there's a company that we might be working with for the camp that can solve this issue, but I sweat a lot.
Spoiler alert.
I'm also a 235-pound dude.
Must be nice.
Sweat drips onto my hands. I can't hold on to the bar because I slip off of the bar. These synthetic grips allow me to hold on to the bar because they lock me into the bar. I don't have to worry about my grips getting wet and me slipping off the bar anymore.
Sweatbands.
They don't work.
Really? Is it that bad?
It's that bad.
So I can relate to that because back in the day before I met you, when I actually thought I was going to be a regional athlete, like 300 pounds, I had to wear sweatbands too, and it would still get through. It was only my left hand.
Damn.
Like I would always slip.
It doesn't matter. I will sweat through sweatbands. I'll sweat through anything.
Because you a bitch.
I guess.
So even chalk, like I can chalk the hell out of my hands. Like,
it doesn't work.
Get to the point, and especially
it's like mushy.
Yeah. So like
that Midwestern sweat, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So it made no sense to ban those grips. It levels out a playing field a little bit more for somebody like me who is a bigger athlete and gets fucked on grip workouts.
I mean, why not? Right? Like it doesn't.
Well, and this is my other complaint. I'm going on fucking tangents.
Let's do it.
About this.
Let's go.
I mean, look, it's still a part of like the educational piece of the state of CrossFit right now.
Here's the thing: is like when you create a business, and this has been something that I've had a gripe about for forever. Is when you create a business and people are sold on that business, you're delivering a product. Now, you've also created an ecosystem under that product. You have affiliates that are making money off of your product. You have equipment companies that are making money off of your product. You have clothing brands that are making money off of your product. You have gear companies that are making money off of your product.
Shit, look what happened with Reebok back in the day, right? So it was dead, and then it got revived because of CrossFit.
You have this, even weightlifting, right? You have this ecosystem that's underneath you, and you want to try and grow that ecosystem as much as you possibly can, because all that does is it funnels back into you. And what CrossFit's been doing is it's been trying to control and kill that ecosystem since like 2018. Getting rid of the grips was like a big, we want to get rid of very specific companies who have made their branding off of this, and try and kill what ecosystem we've helped build. Now look, there are toxic things to an ecosystem that you do want to try and control, for sure. But ultimately, everything will funnel back to you, good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't tell me that something that is giving a lot of your athletes the ability to train full time, because Raw Grips is huge and they have a lot of sponsorships, is bad for your ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Also, constantly changing the sport is bad for
everybody.
No, that's
right.
But I mean, that's the motto, right? Constantly varied functional movement.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. And I'm being facetious here with that.
Yeah.
I don't.
They decided
they literally
fucking live it.
They live it when it comes to
inconsistency.
Yeah. I mean, but again, like,
wait, what?
We sit here and we have to speculate on all this because they don't communicate. They don't do a great job of communicating anything.
Yeah.
And like, okay, so they did give a reason for the grips. It is an is an unfair advantage or it gives athletes the ability to do more reps than they previously would be doing. Cool. You gave a reason. I find that reason to be bullshit because your whole premise is work capacity. And like the dowels, I understand. Even though people are creating dowels with dowel grips, they they literally lock you in. Yeah, they
that's
literally
what gymnasts use, right?
Real gymnasts.
Yeah. They're using straps on a barbell. That's how that would be, right?
Right. So like that. So what the dowels do is they
Safety
literally
issues there too.
Exactly. They literally lock you into the bar. So you have safety issues with that because when you're in a hanging movement, your limiter will always be your grip.
Yeah.
It'll never be like your lats might blow up, your respiratory system might blow up, your heart rate might blow up, but your grip will always be kind of the ultimate fail safe for your movement. The synthetic grips enhance your grip, but they don't get you to the point where it becomes a safety issue. You're still going to have to drop off the bar.
Yeah, I'll use them sometimes, and my grip is still the first thing that goes.
Show me the fucking... they can't make the claim... I'm sorry to interrupt, but they cannot make the claim that it has to be banned based off capacity-based shit without empirical backing.
Yes.
Exactly. That's purely... That's absolute bullshit unless shown in research.
And I think
in documentation that it's like actually that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that they do, like, the grips do give you a little bit of a performance boost. But, I mean, I don't think, because it doesn't come down to a safety issue, I don't think there should be any sort of problem with that. The dowels lock you in, and you'll have people ripping their shoulders like crazy.
Yeah, they'll actually get, like, really hurt, just like with wearing straps on, like, a clean or some shit.
Yes, right.
I get it, but, like, okay, so the consistency here with CrossFit is its inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
The only, the only constant is change.
I'm trying to I'm trying to keep my frustration suppressed as much as I can. This is really fucking annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes a lot of sense now with the state of the sport. So, in your guys' opinion, with the state of the sport, can this grow positively? Like, and with this leading to a massive drop in fuck, what am I looking for here? Not attendance, but goddamn
registration.
Sign-ups, registration. There we go. Yeah. How on earth can companies like us et al. Grow if they're going to keep doing this shit?
Yeah, I mean, well, and like
adapt our training structure.
This is like, I mean, this is like a huge issue for companies that are under the ecosystem. Like, they're gonna have to, like,
they're fucking it up for everybody, us included.
We're beholden to what CrossFit does. It's not a great business model. Like, we have to figure something else out for it.
Well, thankfully, but because of the leadership with you guys, like, Blacklisted, in my opinion, looking at it as best I can from outside the box, is always above the curve.
I mean, hopefully, yeah.
That's burpee rope climbs, remember those?
Yeah. That's the goal. But like, again, that kind of goes back to they're killing. Like, you decided to make decisions this year that people were upset and frustrated with enough to back away from the sport, decreasing your growth rate, because they were on a growth rate again. 2019 to 20, I think, is when they decreased in growth. And they were on a growth rate again. They decided to make decisions that killed their growth again. And so it's a trickle-down effect to the ecosystem of us. We get affected by that.
Is that pre or post Floyd 19 with the growth rate going up?
Post.
Really?
Yeah, that was post.
So the growth rate across it went up even after Glassman's tweets and after the racial shit that happened as well.
In 2000, I can't remember the exact years, but there was, I think 2018 was the peak. They got rid of their social medias. I think Glassman said that shit.
Got rid of regionals.
And I can't remember if it was that year or the next one where there was like 2 opens in a year, and there was another.
The fall and those.
There was a 30% drop on one of those. But since that 30% drop, it's been growing ever since.
Really interesting.
This is the lowest registration since 2014.
Yeah.
Well, they fucked up because it's opened the door for obviously High Rocks and what was that other one, Fitness League or some
World
shit,
Fitness Project.
World Fitness Project, and then it's speaking selfishly, like it's really opened the door for grid, like a lot.
Yeah, I do think that what like kind of like that ecosystem that you're talking about, or like us.
Yeah.
It all depends on like how well some of those other like split off organizations do, like World Fitness Project.
Right.
Like if that takes off and everybody and like gets run super well and everyone wants to move over to that or something else, like people are gonna do that.
Yeah,
absolutely. The only downside to that is like that's gonna, my opinion here, and I'm open to be corrected, is that's gonna put a hit on like strength training shit. Like that's gonna hit Dissident Barbell a little bit potentially.
Well, I don't think so.
World Fitness Project, not High Rocks.
Yeah.
Well, oh, my fault.
Yeah,
okay, my fault.
World Fitness Project. Yeah.
Also, I don't think with Pat's program, like everybody wants to get.
Well,
stronger,
his is different,
and
right?
his is different. Yeah, like Pat's program.
Then I shouldn't say that. I should say like CrossFit revived the Olympic weightlifting world quite a bit.
Oh,
Olympic,
sure.
Yeah, and Olympic weightlifting is its own beast now.
Right, and
they're not.
Thank God for that, honestly, because CrossFit would fuck it up.
Yeah. Well, and that's to bring it back to another kind of like point. If you go back to this is the thing, is like everything CrossFit touches fucking dies. You bring it back to sanctionals. How many of those sanctionals are still events? There was 70. I think there was
just Dubai, right?
I can't remember how many there were. There was
Dubai is barely functioning.
Dubai, because the Sheik has a shit ton of money that he funds it. Wadapalooza.
Well, Wadapalooza is its own thing. Like it doesn't need the sanctional
Strength and
anymore.
Depth rebranded.
What?
Strength and Depth UK event rebranded.
Okay.
I think there's a Spain event that is still
like the Barcelona
thing? Something like that. Yep, is still a thing. But I'll say this as well. It is challenging to run an event, so you probably are going to see events falling off for sure. But none of those events, very few of those events that decided to affiliate with CrossFit are still around.
I think there's still the one in the Philippines.
Sure. Okay.
Because RJ went to that one years ago.
The Khalees Games.
Yeah, okay. That one.
Okay.
I know that one's still going.
Look, there are a few, but for the most part, if you decided to affiliate your event with CrossFit at that point in time, you're done. Like it killed your event.
So the state of CrossFit right now has essentially killed its major.
I guess it killed its major competitors.
Well,
like if you look at it that way.
Well,
some big competitor, smaller level competitors of it.
What do you mean?
Like, okay, so your product is the games, right? It's a live competition.
Is sanctionals and shit it would not be
so like your
umbrella under the it would not be under the umbrella of the games.
Let's walk it back a little bit.
All right.
Your product is the CrossFit Games, an in-person event, right? All these other events are in-person events, so technically they are competition of the games.
Even though each sanctional didn't they have to pay a fee or something?
Well, ultimately an in-person event like a Granite Games or a Wadapalooza or Dubai or whatever it might be is a competitor of the CrossFit Games. They're essentially doing the same thing, right?
Even though it's a step to make it to the games.
They're essentially doing if we look at it from a base level, they're essentially doing the same thing, right?
Okay. I'm trying my best to follow, I promise.
Yeah. Now
I'm dumb.
They're essentially so they're essentially the same thing. So by CrossFit being like affiliate under us and you can be a sanctioned event, what are these events getting out of it?
Notoriety.
Notoriety, sure. But is that cost of notoriety bringing you in excess money?
I guess not.
Bringing you in profit.
I guess not if you look at the Granite Games, because like St. Cloud.
Well, that was a little bit different. But some of these smaller competitions that decided actually Copa Cup might be still around. So, but some of these smaller ones that affiliated with CrossFit, it essentially killed them off.
Interesting. How and why? Or did you want to finish this?
They ran out of money. Like the price to affiliate, I heard was like $75,000.
What?
So they essentially
what the fuck?
Yeah. So they essentially killed off at the base level. You're doing the same exact thing. They essentially killed off a lot of their major competition and just profited from it.
It sounds like what the Olympics do to every city they go to.
Sure.
I mean, for the same, like,
it's different because the city and the Olympics are not the same thing.
No, I get it. I'm putting it to a scale of something I know.
Yeah.
Well, to a degree, it just sounds like with them killing the smaller competition.
That would be like the Olympics being like
it kills
collegiate gymnastics. You guys have to affiliate through us for you guys to get spots to the Olympics, and your affiliation fee is going to be $3 million.
Well, like the city. I from that standpoint, I say I'm looking at it from like an economic standpoint. The cities always lose millions of dollars hosting the Olympics.
I don't think this is a good analogy.
All right, that's fair. I'm just.
I know what you're saying, though.
I apologize for that. I don't follow business model shit very well. That's fair. Moving on. So how come then Wadapalooza still is increasing in popularity? Because it's just a well-run event.
It's a well-run event. Yeah.
Fittest of the Coast too.
Fittest of the Coast never affiliated. It's a well-run event.
Oh, really?
They never affiliated.
Good for them.
Yeah, it's a well-run event. Now this affiliation process, I have no idea what it's like. It might make sense from a business standpoint to do this if there's little to no cost to it.
Okay. Fair. They need to find a more streamlined system.
They need to find a more streamlined system, and they need to find a system that works for the competitions that are running their events.
They need to get more data out as well. Like they need to do more research.
I think I don't care.
No, I mean, so
I think 99% of people don't care.
No, I mean, like internally for them to like what would help them is like to have originally they had the 9 foundational movements, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, I think the other thing you have to look at, Dan, is this structure they're owned by a private equity firm now, and the private equity firms only care about profit and loss statements.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like this does bring them in
a
significant amount of money.
Then they can't
and they pass all the costs off to all the people that are wanting to affiliate with them.
So they technically, based off of this, my speculation is they can no longer claim CrossFit Games to find the fittest in the world, the fittest human, right?
If you genuinely care about that statement, probably not. Because
I genuinely care about that statement because you're gonna make a bold fucking claim like that and you don't have the science to back it up. Like,
I think that statement's lame, and it's a sport, and so you just go play the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna find the person who's the best at CrossFit.
Yeah,
or whatever they decide CrossFit is that year.
Yeah. Right.
Whatever.
Sit on a fucking rower for 4 hours.
Yeah. Well, and like, I talked to somebody about this. And I don't know if this is totally true, but I think there's like a, like I get like, CrossFit is the sport. Like if you're trying to like test fitness, I feel like they're missing so many.
100%.
There's so many like
fitness factors that they're missing.
Yeah.
How can like everything is so fucking aerobic.
Yeah.
It's like I don't.
How many strength events do they actually have?
How many strength events test actual strength?
That's fair.
And power output, like genuine power output.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like it'd be funny to see like a 40 max vert jump. Like,
honestly,
just like stuff like that.
Softball throw. Like, wait a minute.
Oh, bring it back.
But like just like I feel like it's missing some like
major
tests on the other side of the spectrum. Because like
on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
They did have the marathon, which was an endurance, and they did have that 6-mile run, but that's over the span of almost 20 years now that they've had 2 major.
Bring back the fucking wheelbarrow and sandbags.
Yeah. Well,
functional as fuck.
That was chaos in 2016.
Yeah, 100%. The functional as fuck.
Yeah.
You want to test functional fitness? Move a house.
Like 100-mile bike.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like a Tour de France style, like mini Tour de France style, where it's just 100 miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that. Like that's something that is missing.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things that are missing.
That's so I've had this discussion with a lot of people. Is like, there's a lot of people that got into the CrossFit because they were testing fitness, but they bought into that terminology and they can't separate themselves from that terminology.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they're testing the sport.
Yeah.
They're not testing fitness. The sport needs to be entertaining. Like if you want to test fitness,
yeah, that's fair.
If you want to test fitness, honestly, that'd be a boring as fuck event to watch.
Marathon row.
You would have like a 100-mile bike, marathon row, max vert, which that might be pretty exciting. Some sort of lifting event, and then you would have like probably 3 CrossFit events.
Yeah.
I think because it's CrossFit though, you could make those events interesting.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I just don't know.
Together.
Yeah,
people still watch golf.
I just don't like. Everybody has their biases in programming, and we've done analysis on this when Boz started programming for semifinals when Amanda made it to semis. Like the games literally had year over year a skeleton that Dave produced. It was like a 5'5" female that was like 125 pounds based off of their games profiles, right? Yes, you had outliers, but you didn't have crazy outliers.
Yeah.
Then Boz started programming. I think the guys were like 5'9", maybe 5'10", but
they were shorter.
All dudes lie on their fucking shit, so they were probably 5'7".
Yeah.
And like 190, 195 pounds. The year that Boz programmed, women shot up to literally Amanda's profile, 5'7", 170 pounds. There's like or maybe it was 5'6", 165, 75 pounds. But you saw increase in height, increase in weight. And the guys went all the way up to like 6 foot 220 pounds.
Jesus.
It was wild. The increase in the athlete profile that made it was wild. And the other thing is, I believe that year all the semifinal tests were the same like regionals again.
How about that?
In 2023. Yeah.
So
it was across the board. You saw they self-selected a specific athlete. I like this because they won't self-select a specific athlete. It will be a little bit more chaos, but it is also kind of luck of the draw at that point in time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, so your guys' opinion on the state of the sport. Quick synopsis of like this 45-minute part of it is what? Yay, nay, can it grow? Think it can
grow from a growth standpoint? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think people are going to be very disappointed at the games this year.
Yeah.
If you go look at the open announcements, 3 years ago they had fucking Dodge as a as a sponsor.
What year was that wrestler? Was that last year when they had the wrestler there? 2 years ago?
Oh, James Rowland. Yeah, that might have been last year. Yeah. I know what you're talking. I can't remember.
Dodge was a major sponsor though.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was last year. Not Dodge, but the wrestler. He did with Medeiros. Okay. It was the road deadlift.
Oh, that's right.
Dodge was a major sponsor. They had GoRuck as a major sponsor. Yeah. People aren't touching this thing with a 10-foot pole anymore.
Yeah.
If you go look at the live streams right now, they have Yeti, U.S. Border Patrol, U.S. Postal Service or something like that, and Rogue are the only sponsorship. Oh, and D-Leagues, whatever the fuck that is. Some sweatband jump rope company.
Gotcha.
So they have 5 sponsors that are listed on their games, like open announcements right now. I think that people are going to be very disappointed with the games this year.
Won't be a lot of funding for it for sure.
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as cool as it used to be.
About you, Pat?
I'm kind of in the same boat, but I'm interested to. I'm interested to see what other people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of over CrossFit right now. Like, I was like 2 years ago, really.
Mm-hmm.
But like the testing, I feel like
is the same
has
shit
become
over and
so
over.
Fucking stale.
Yeah.
And like I still look back at all those sanctioned events and open workouts and quarterfinals workouts from like 2019 to 2021. And I'm like, damn, this is not the same fucking sport.
No.
It's like completely fucking different.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to go back and look at that too.
It's fucking wild. I was talking to a guy who just started CrossFit like last year, and he wants to be competitive and stuff at the gym. And I showed him. I was like, this is like one of my favorite open workouts, and it's like the box step ups, clean and jerks, pistols, clean and jerks. And
they were supposed to be box jumps.
Oh yeah, people step, but you can step up. Yeah. And And the clean and jerks went up. He's like 315 clean and jerks in the open. What the hell? And I was like, yeah.
What's crazy is that was
normal.
Yeah.
2016 they had 315 pound clean and jerks. That was
2019, my first year.
2015 they started maxing out in the open, and guys were hitting 335 cleans. Clean and jerks in the open.
Yeah. And in Boz program, that perfect workout with double unders, handstand push-ups, snatches that went up to 225.
Yeah.
Great workout.
That was a good one, yeah.
And that was, I thought, one of the most perfectly programmed things ever. Because people who have higher VO2 maxes than me, which is you can work hard to improve your VO2 max, but it's super fucking genetic.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
And that's my problem a little bit with like so much testing of this like
one athlete profile.
Yeah. It's like, anyway, but like people who are fitter than me didn't make it past that 185 snatch bar, and like I breezed through that shit and got one rep away from finishing the 225. But and then of course there were workouts that were like super
the burpee pull up shuttle run workout from that year.
I crushed that.
Oh,
one
did you
too.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because the max thruster.
Oh, at the end.
I beat Pat Fellner and Fikowski's first their open live score.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
For the thruster.
Yeah.
Because they thruster 285.
Nice.
And they got 280.
And now you can smash that thruster.
Yeah.
I can now too.
No, I'm saying you can.
Now
I sure as fuck can't.
But the thing is like,
you probably could.
I can't press a bar overhead.
They oh shit, I lost my train of thought.
It's all good. Well, yeah, I was just saying like,
But that's the fun thing about CrossFit is if you have somebody, look, everybody's gonna have biases in their programming, which is why I think you need to have multiple different people programming this shit that have no affiliation with anything outside of just the CrossFit season. But the fun thing about the sport was you could create balanced workouts where there is like a heavy barbell that offsets a dense skipping handstand push-up set or something or a dense chest to bar set, where it becomes a lot more fun when you watch like, oh shit, so-and-so took the lead on the chest to bar. Did they create a big enough lead to hold off Pat on these 10 snatches at 225, you know?
Yeah. And even just like, even the capacity workouts could just be, you can test that same thing just in a different way.
Yeah.
Like the dumbbell snatch burpee
from last year.
Walking lunge workout? No, the first one from this year though.
Oh, the hang cleans. Yeah.
Yeah, like you could do that with just a different new combination of things.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you don't have to do the same shit over. Like in the thruster pull up thing, like Fran is one of my favorite workouts, dude.
Yes.
And like,
well,
why are we doing thrusters and pull ups
and
chest to bar every fucking time? Like, why is that a staple?
Well, and they never
like meta.
Yes.
At this point.
Yes. That's like, and that's been my 2014 was in my opinion was the last year that they started testing. That testing was fun at the games because it just the next year you were like it's kind of a repeat of all the shit that they did last year. 2016 they threw in some new implements, but it was still kind of the same thing. Like and there's the bias that comes in is Dave has a specific test subset of tests and movements that he mixes and matches together. What?
Running at the games?
Yeah.
They've been running at the games so fucking much.
Well, the data on that is they were from 2013 to 2020. They ran on average 4 miles. 2020 it bumped up to like 20 something.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Why?
But it was at the ranch and they had that long 6 mile.
Yeah, but why? Why run so much?
I think it's back down to around 3 or 4 miles again.
Okay.
Is what you.
That's good.
I mean, good. Why run so much?
I do remember that one year.
Maybe it was 4 to 6.
There was that super long run.
Yeah.
And then they had them
and then they had another run.
Thrusters, muscle ups, running up the hill.
Yep. They had
like
that was the 2020 year where they just basically did a whole bunch of running.
Yeah.
It was a wild amount. It was like 20. It was literally 20 miles of running or something like that. But I think it's back down to like that 4 to 6 range.
That's good.
They need to go back down to the 2007 run, which is 800 meters up that fucking hill and back down.
They did that in 2020.
They did the GHD wall ball run up the hill thing.
Oh,
the wall ball GHD.
Yep.
So
that's gross as fuck.
Yeah, it is. But that was again, that was kind of the cool thing about the games is you had that's where the functionality came in was like, oh yeah, I could definitely see somebody carrying a sandbag up this fucking hill and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like 2014 was the last year, and then Boz came in and was like, here's a new bias, and it became fun again. Rogue continuously re-events the wheel. I don't know who writes the programming for them. I think at one point in time it was Chris Spieler and Rich Froning, and it was the first year they did it was Rich Froning and Chris Spieler, and it was a ton of fun. You watched that event, and you were like, CrossFit's back. They had a tug of war event for the teams.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Chris Spieler, mad respect.
I just think like there's not enough like true like of that like bottleneck type of workout.
Right.
It's like the testing seems to be a big component as to like why the state of CrossFit is in what it's in away from the business decisions.
Yeah.
So I want to, if we have the time, I want to lump that into like, maybe we can bring this up into 2 episodes, but I want to lump that into like, how's that affected the state of Blacklisted? Since the 3 of us became a part of you.
I mean, we grew last year, so that was cool.
Because of like CrossFit, or because of like what? Because of what the business model is, or like I'm in case you can't tell, like I'm trying to segue this into like the state of Blacklisted.
Yeah.
Specifically, and like why people would still value signing up for our camps.
Yeah.
And also why our Bring a Friend Day, if it wasn't for the snow, we would have had like 7,000 people here at the gym.
Yeah.
Still had a lot.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think one thing that you're gonna find is that community, like what CrossFit was one of the big things that CrossFit was founded on or evolved into, maybe. I can't remember if Glassman wrote about this in his journals or not, but it was community. And that was his driving factor for creating CrossFit gyms was community. And so I think even if CrossFit goes away, the micro gym or, you know, what we do, we still created a good community and a good culture. Mm-hmm. And I think you can grow that as a business model.
Yeah, that's fair. So would you say like relative to last year, the state of Blacklisted is what?
I don't even know.
Fair enough. You should probably know that, though. You're the owner of the company.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also like...
I mean, you don't need to obviously disclose like the monetary side of it all, because like it's been, let's see, Pat Griff and I, we've been with you.
Well, like, what do you like when you say state? Like, are you looking for one word? Like,
no, not necessarily. Just like we just talked about the state of CrossFit, right? And like what's affected it, what's impacted it. We just talked about the fucking open. You educated me all on that. Now I want to talk about and have a chance to educate everybody that's associated with Blacklisted and myself a little bit, since like lately I've been pretty checked out with life events.
Right.
Where is like Blacklisted from like the growth stance of things, and is it impacted by the state of CrossFit?
I mean, it's definitely impacted by the state of CrossFit, right? So like I think our core of like building a community and like getting coaches to, you know, create a product and launch their brand is still there. But we're like because of the business is built off of functional fitness and CrossFit being the biggest functional fitness out there, we're kind of in a holding pattern and a holding growth pattern in regards to like how many athletes we have coming in the door. Mm-hmm. Because we're waiting for basically what the competition season is going to look like, or what is going to be competition going forward.
That's fair. So I want to do devil's advocate stuff a little bit here, because I hear what you're saying there, but part of me disagrees that it's a holding pattern just to CrossFit, because like, well, with using Amanda as the prime example, since she's been with you the most, she's kind of the more talked about athlete with Blacklisted. She's not doing the CrossFit season this year.
Yeah. So part of that is the World Fitness Project hasn't launched yet.
Okay.
So we're in a holding pattern in regards to the sport growing.
So okay, all right. That
yeah, it kind of depends
that
on
computes
what
more with me.
Everyone, what like World Fitness Project does.
Yeah.
What happens?
I mean, we were gonna affiliate last year and decided against it.
Right. I remember talking about that or whatnot.
Yeah.
So with the lack of consistency here, and lack of consistency with another sport previously mentioned that is improving.
High rock.
No, grid.
I just wanted you to say it.
Yeah, I fucking knew you would. Because like, speaking quite selfishly, as the coach of the championship team last year, a good
brush your shoulder off.
Casual drop.
The majority of the maybe not the majority, but a large percentage of the team was affiliated with Blacklisted or being programmed for by one of you three.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to be biased when I say it, but like a lot of people noticed that.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just amongst the Atlanta Wild that Blacklisted was talked about.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think one of the big things that maybe we don't do a great job of getting out is like we coach people.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. We can help facilitate your goals.
Is that maybe one of the next steps for?
Could be.
Yeah.
I don't know how to market that very well, to be honest.
And like super intentional program design.
Yeah.
We don't fucking take our base program that we sell and copy and paste it and give it to everybody.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
I don't have a list of like 50 templates that I use to just plug into somebody. I'm not using AI to fucking write you some retarded fucking
program
for you to lose weight. You know what I mean? Like
that's the industry standard. Like
it is, dude. And so many people fucking do that. I noticed
it's just sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I noticed it with weightlifting. I looked through so many weightlifting programs last year. When I was putting Dissident together and figuring out how I wanted to write my programs.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't decide, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
4 days a week, 6 days a week, or do the old Soviet thing where it's a 13-day,
like the Smolov
13-day weeks.
Yeah.
Like the Smolov week or the Smolov
not
approach?
Smolov.
No.
This is you train every other day.
Okay.
It's a 13-day week.
Smolov was every day, wasn't it?
Smolov is everyday squat, like
way too many fucking squats.
Hold on, you're missing.
Anyway,
keep going on the point. Yeah.
But fuck, I lost it. God.
You're basically talking.
You're talking about how like you're not AIing people.
Oh yeah. So like I think that's something that like when I write my programs for Dissident now, I spend like I don't know, like 10 hours on that shit.
Right.
Because you value the quality of what you're producing.
And
you're using fucking research.
And
probably.
Everyone's fucking PRing.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So it's not working.
To give people a little bit behind the scenes is Pat's program, it's small right now.
Yeah.
I think you've had one person stop on it, maybe two.
I've had one person leave because of time.
Yeah.
They didn't want to dedicate time to getting stronger anymore. Like it's that simple.
Right.
And then I had someone go on pause and they came back.
Yeah.
But
you'll gain another one once I'm done moving and shit.
Yeah, I've got 20 right now almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
which is like, I think a lot of people hear that. No, it's not like some of these group programs out there have like hundreds to thousands of people.
Yeah.
Right. But like, that's where you start getting into the templated shit and like the AI shit and all this other stuff. And like we try and be very intentional. Yeah. About what we're doing with our and keeping our quality high. We're not.
We're all extremely picky with like doing stuff to our fullest degree. Like we're all very much in our own way autistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it just goes to show like Pat puts in the quality and his retention rate on the program shows that.
And the state of your programming has increased quite positively, yes?
Like it's getting better?
What
what
month are you on for when did it launch again? September. Right. So yeah, I was going to say it was in the summertime sometime when it launched.
So this is my 7th month.
Yeah.
What's the end goal like for like, people in Dissident? Bell curve wise, just to get stronger? Do they have like a specific, I want to get stronger for this sport?
So I probably have
sick shirt, by the way.
I know, right? You can get these on the Instagrams.
On the store.
They are really fucking
link in the bios. A lot of people have been buying these too, which is cool.
It looks awesome. So, sorry, go ahead.
But what was your question?
What's the end goal for Dissident? Like the people, the bell curve of people who are in it.
I probably have like 6 or 7 people who are actively competed or want to compete in weightlifting on its own.
Okay.
And be better. And then I have probably the other 2/3 are CrossFitters who just want to get better at strength things, weightlifting, all that.
Gotcha.
So it's and people who just want to be more powerful. I've learned a lot from Griffin on how to do that. Through what he's but through what he's given me. Because like I think every coach I've ever had, I've taken something away from the programming that I personally
That's fantastic.
And I always apply it and just combine it to like
you can create your own template based off of that works and then adjust it.
Yeah, because you find out like what works, what doesn't, and well, okay. So I'm really proud of the program I just wrote, the new cycle, which starts March 17th.
Sign up.
I'm really proud of this one. I did it this week, and basically this group of people, since they've been so consistent, I've been using them as like a herd that I'm just kind of like guide through to gains, basically.
That's awesome.
So the last cycle was supposed to be 8 weeks. It's supposed to be short. And I because I go in there and I look at everyone's numbers. I text them. I talk to them at the gym. I see how everyone's feeling. How's everyone good? Like whatever. And for the most part, you get a pretty good gauge. And then you have some outliers who feel really shitty, and some people who feel really good, but everyone else is pretty much falling in line. And we were supposed to have our testing week. We had our testing week, and a bunch of people matched PRs, felt like shit, all this stuff, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, these people have more in the tank. So I was like, all right, we're extending this cycle 2 weeks. I just told them in the group chat, hey, we're extending the cycle 2 weeks. I brought up how we were extending it because I was like, all right, we need to add a little bit more 90% plus volume because basically the minimum effective dose that worked prior isn't working anymore. So I upped it, gave him another little dose for 2 weeks, and then everybody this week's the final week, and
the chat's popping off.
Fucking
that's awesome.
Everybody's PRing like first PRs in like years.
That's awesome.
So basically, I took everything that didn't work from the very first cycle we did, where everyone PR'd. I took everything that could be better from that first cycle and
evolved it
and redid it and evolved it, and made it more interesting as far as like how it progresses. Like for example, like for the snatching stuff.
This is for the upcoming cycle?
This is for the upcoming cycle, yeah. So like for the snatching stuff and the clean stuff, you only snatch and clean once a week. The other 2 days have a lot of snatch and clean accessory. But the full lifts are only completed twice a week, and they're in the form of like a 3 to 4 rep complex. But they're like weightlifting complexes. So like 2 of the reps are hanging onto the bar, and then there's a drop, and then you complete a full rep, right?
I like that a lot, actually.
So you do that for the first 3 weeks, starting at a low percentage, and then basically from there you start taking reps away from the complex, upping the percentage. There's a slight deload where you go back to completing the original complex, and then there's the next like 5 weeks where you go into snatch waves. So it takes you from complexes to waves, and then it'll be at the very end lots of heavy single volume.
Dude, you can honestly, with that and with the community you've built within it, you can create like, it sounds like a club. Like
I do have it.
A tiered club, you know what I'm saying? Like you could have it be like
Are you speaking business models right now?
I guess so.
Cool.
Well, I have a group chat. There is a group chat team.
So like you could create like a barbell team.
I was just curious if you're speaking business plan. I thought it was cool.
Can be. I don't know. Like it sounds
trying to appeal to your autism.
Are you?
No.
He's lying.
Okay. I mean, that's how I kind of view it. Like you've created a newer form of like a barbell club, but like instead of it being like in that generic use of the phrasing, it could be more like you have to qualify to move up for like certain shit. Like you have a foundational group, like a bronze group, a silver group, a gold group, high performance group, or whatever. Like using just shit we would use in something. Like I mean for like later on. I mean like right now. I mean for later on.
I'm mulling it over.
It's gonna. I mean, at some point in time, it's gonna have to scale, right? If it continues on the trajectory that's continuing on, at some point in time, it's gonna have to scale.
You have your foundation of like this group of 20 for you, right?
About 18.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty dope, honestly, because like I promise this does all loop in, like the state of the cross, the state of Blacklist.
Actually, technically, probably it's 20. There's a couple.
Let's see, you have 3 early birds.
Well, there's also some people who are doing
at the gym.
With
Charles
and his son are doing
right.
Technically,
yeah.
too.
And I think you have 14 or 15 on the program right now.
That's pretty cool.
And then 3 early birds.
Yeah.
And then
birds.
has the state like 17, 18, and then the people that are doing it with it. So you're probably at 20.
Has the state of CrossFit and all the shit we talked about with that, you think that's impacted the people who are with you and stayed with you?
I think it has increased the interest in Olympic weightlifting.
Yeah.
And high rocks. More so high rocks, but
really? Why high rocks?
Because it's more accessible.
It's more and like they do a great job with marketing. Their events are what CrossFit was 12 years ago.
Isn't there not
10,
like a high level strength component to high rocks though?
None whatsoever.
None, yeah.
So then what value would there be for doing a distant barbell thing? Like how would that positively affect what you have?
I mean, not if you want to do high rocks. It's like the complete opposite.
Right. No, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like with the World Fitness Project not out yet, right?
Yeah.
And like the drop and cross, like what has there has it just been the community aspect, or has it been like your quality of programming, or a mixture of both that's like kept the state of distant barbell within Blacklisted elevated?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
Because like, so I have Jesse on there who did.
Dude, I'm so excited to watch her go to a meet.
She put out her hang clean yesterday.
Really?
She hit 235 from the hang.
Yeah.
Casual.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
And then so
she want to play grid?
She did Catalyst for probably not. She did Catalyst forever. I think she's like way in on weightlifting right now.
Yeah.
But she did Catalyst forever and was just like
so was David.
Bored to fucking death. And I have the Catalyst book because I bought like the programming guide, and I was like flipping through the programs and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, like he's good. Like that dude's smart as fuck. He's probably
Greg Everett, right?
Yeah. He's kind of the man.
Yeah.
Super
intelligent. He's got good shit.
Yeah.
Right. But I do think a lot of weightlifting, I just saw the same thing where it's like most people do. 99% of people who are doing weightlifting don't need to do like waste an hour of their training doing pulls from 3 different portions of your fucking snatch.
I would love to go in depth on that someday.
You know honestly. What I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, cut it down.
For a different episode, I think we need to talk about that.
Dude, cut it down so you can give all your energy to that one thing. Like, because I used to do it when I was trying to get strong. I would do so much fucking shit in my sessions where it'd be like, I don't think I got any adaptation out of fucking any of it.
It's almost like a neural overhaul.
Yeah.
Like too much.
It's just like you're just doing like a bunch of shit. Whereas like now with Griffin, it's like you have pin thrusters today, back squats, and bench press.
It's too much.
And like some accessory stuff. But those 3 things are the only like high output strength things I'm doing. So I can give so much effort to those things and be done and fully recover.
I love that. I really do.
And that's like the thought process I take into the program because like Dozer, the weightlifting guy, puts out a lot of great stuff, and I agree with him because he's kind of a little bit anti USAW like culture and whatever. But he was saying like you don't need to put everything into you don't need to fit everything into a program. Like, because just pick the things that you're going to work on, use those, see if it works, and if it doesn't, like, but yeah, I mean.
That's cool. I mean, I appreciate, honestly, I've been curious about like how Dissident's been doing and whatnot, and whether it's impacted or influenced by the state of CrossFit or not.
He's a terrible friend and never asked.
No.
Kyle's, you're 100% right.
No, but I think it's going to blow up. I think it's gonna it's gonna keep exploding.
Pat's at the point where he's got a good product out, and now it's the marketing aspect of it.
Yeah, and I actually
all the way, Pat.
I did have a really good conversation with my friend Chris. He's one of my clients that I train. He's a master's weightlifter. And he was like, because business is like his job. Is like managing businesses and stuff. And he said that for growing an online business, doing what's going to grow your online business is the things you do offline. Like 90% of your growth is going to come from things that you do offline. And he told me that, and I was like, I never really thought about it that way before. Because he's like, you need the Instagram followers, you need all those things, but the way that you get those things is what you're doing also by stuff that you do offline.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of I'm going to be doing a lot of offline stuff this year with like the sole purpose of growing the.
Are you going to start offering seminars? Or only seminars associated with Blacklisted?
We've talked about it.
At some point.
There's, I think we've tried to kind of like come up with some stuff to like help grow Dissident a little bit. And I think we came up with a format, or we talked about a format that would work pretty well for the seminars. We just didn't. Yeah. We didn't launch it yet.
So and kind of what's happening now is like I'm in the infancy of starting a barbell club at CrossFit Buckhead because I've got 2 barbell classes added to the schedule now. So there's going to be 4 barbell classes a week, and they're using Dissident barbell programming. So I got them to use the program.
That's dope.
And the cool thing is that the members who really care and really want to, like, really, there's only like each day of class programming, there's only like 2 pieces of the program. So really they're getting, and they're missing a full day of it from what they can see on their member app, right? So really they're only getting like a third of the program. So the people who are really interested, and I've already had a few who want to do more and get better, I tell them like, hey, you can get the rest of the program, join the team, like join the club, and you have access to the rest of the program, so you can do all of it. You can still come to class and hit the first 2 pieces and then finish the rest of your training.
Yeah.
So that's like part of what I'm doing that I think will lead eventually into some probably seminars local to that gym for a start.
Yeah, I'm excited for that process. Honestly, man, I'm proud of you, man. For what it's worth.
Thank you.
Pat's killing it.
Like, well fucking done.
I'm maxing out with Wes Kitts on Monday.
Who's that?
It'll already have happened.
Oh, when this goes?
Yeah.
Yeah. On March 10th, I will be maxing out
with Wes Kitts.
If you're listening to this, I've already maxed out with Wes Kitts.
Who's that?
The man.
Damn.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
He's fucking man, boy.
So this was great. Appreciate the educational parts for sure. I got a lot to marinate on and catch up on. I promise I will.
Or not, because do you want to waste those brain cells?
I mean, I want to learn a lot more about like that shit.
Yeah, that wouldn't be wasting brain cells.
What?
Wouldn't be wasting brain cells.
Gotcha. And the CrossFit side of stuff, I'll be honest, like I don't really care.
Lots of people don't at this point.
I care about like things that are going to impact grid, i.e. I think Pat's programming would. In a positive sense. I think that Pat will, honestly, I think you probably have an arsenal of athletes that I could probably talk to see if they want to be a part of the season.
Do it.
I mean, shit, look at Sam.
Yeah. Dude, he's fucking killing it.
He's getting strong as fuck.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing to bring
for grid.
Yeah, to bring some things back is like, not only did we program for a big chunk of the wild, we also had 4 or 5 other athletes that were doing our stuff on other teams and excelled on other teams.
Like Sam had a killer year relative to previous years. Like just balled out.
Artur, Cody.
Artur did great. Dude, Cody is like one of the best grid athletes on the floor now.
Right.
Without Griffin out there.
Right.
I did not realize Cody was going to be that fucking good.
Dude, Cody's a good athlete.
Yes, he is. I mean, but I also saw him just like rolling around on the floor the first time I met him because he was so tired and dramatic after the workout.
Cody dramatic?
Oh, was that double under shoulder overhead?
Yeah. But then also like Gabriel, his buddy that he played on the Palms too.
Yeah, and Gabe
he was gonna resign with them this year, but I think his kid that was born.
Okay.
Was able to.
Yeah, and Gabe follows the programming that we do for the gym out in Incendia out it. So like we honestly like Cody follows hybrid method, Artur follows individual design, and the method as of last year. Who else do we have? Sam follows Dissident. We have anybody else? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I'm going through the list. There were a few more.
There's a girl on the Sharks.
Yep.
I forgot her name.
Shit. Whoops. I forget her name too, but yes, there's another one on the Sharks.
That was doing the method.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
There were a couple more.
yeah.
I'm drawing blanks, but I
Yeah,
know there were a
yeah.
couple more. I think there was one from the Aces that was following it
Okay.
last year.
Yeah,
and then,
so like we had shit, I can't remember where I was going.
there were a handful from the Sharks, honestly.
But I remember now. So like Gabe was following our class programming. Like so we have like the thing is like maybe the biases that we have or what we're doing works very well across the board for all athletes that are playing grid.
You guys get people to not just like perform the not just improve, but like perform with urgency as well.
Yeah.
Because like with how they become like more mobile, more neurally inclined, however you want to view it, like
Right.
the movement patterns that are programmed for them to develop, it's fucking effective.
Yeah.
I mean, Vilma, honestly, like Vilma and Carrie and Tyler are borderline like
All
strength
Griffin's
utility athletes now.
Yeah, all Griffin's athletes.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
Oh, Tyler was on the method last year.
Yep.
Too. Yeah.
And he's gotten really strong.
Yes,
Yeah.
he has.
Yeah.
Tyler cleaned like 325 or
Yeah, that was nuts.
yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like, and then Carrie's doing butterfly muscle ups.
Yeah.
Right. And she's PR'd her back squat, I think it's over 250 now. Well over 250 now.
Pre-broken knee.
I went from
Pre-broken knee. Back squat.
Oh yeah.
Carrie broke her knee?
No.
What are you talking about?
No, she did not break her knee. She's just dealing with there's some inflammation in there or something. So.
Okay. Well, we should probably stop. Just talk for a while on all this, like the state of everything. Like,
This is a long.
It's like
episode.
close to an hour and a half.
Yeah, cool.
Selfishly speaking, trying to be unbiased, I believe that like Blacklisted as a whole is above the curve or above the not the curve. What am I looking for here?
I don't know.
Like, I'll just say ahead of the curve because like everything that you guys seem to do here
Creates success for athletes.
It creates success for athletes, but also it's like it's shit that's being shown on other platforms.
Yeah.
Like in performances and whatnot. Like
Yeah.
it's being people are seeing the value in it and they're doing it.
Yeah.
I.e., Blacklisted Espanol,
Yeah. Yeah.
People copying Blacklisted means that's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, I think we're really good at actually developing people.
Yes.
Because
and that was your baseline, right?
Yeah.
When you and I first talked.
Because we're in the process.
When the four of us first talked. Sorry, when the four of us first talked at that Mexico.
We develop athletes.
Yeah.
We don't just. We're not a meat grinder where we're just gonna take people and. We're not a meat grinder where we're just gonna take people and the best survive. We're also not just a collector. We're not just collecting athletes. Like we're here. If you're in our community, we're invested in you and we're gonna develop you as an athlete.
Probably more invested. I would argue probably more invested into them than they would be invested into themselves.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah, which is a dangerous thing as a coach, though.
Well, I've also seen so many people who follow the same programs for CrossFit for like fucking
too long,
over 5 years, and their numbers are the same.
Yeah,
they're out like they're not explosive. They're
what
not
was Ben Bergeron's thing?
Comp train. The only thing I have this like devil's advocate on that is like I think there is a large majority of people that don't honestly give a shit about getting better.
True.
That is also fair.
In the Gen Pop, absolutely.
Yeah, they're just like
they're there to be social.
I'm following X program because it's trendy and I'm now part of X community. It's like a social status thing for them.
Yep.
Yeah. I do think it's amazing also. I don't know, this is just a thing, but like the amount of people who do CrossFit who can lift like relatively heavy, but are like can't jump.
Yeah, that's weird.
They're not good jumpers.
Back when I competed.
Really?
Yeah, I'm terrible at jumping.
But it's like
why?
But I had a 400-pound front squat in 2016, which was probably top. Like there were probably 150 people.
You weren't a heavy person though, so how could you not jump?
I was 230 I was 233 when I competed.
Yeah, but like a lot of people that can front squat 400 plus pounds, like they're
could
bigger.
jump higher than 24 inches.
That's true, inches. But I mean, it also depends. Like if they're like bigger people, like mass moving mass type of person. Like me front squatting 400 pounds, like now, I would assume you would have been able to jump higher than me, and I was.
You would think
fucking 75.
You would think.
I would think all the metrics on
I've
paper.
Never seen you jump actually.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. I can barely touch that rim up.
Really?
There. On a good day, I could touch the rim.
We need to talk about that off air.
I don't
figure it out.
I don't give a fuck about jumping.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't give a fuck, who cares?
I'm not trying to chase performance anymore. I'm trying to chase health and fucking myself up.
This is also way off topic, but dude, doing like plyometric jumping stuff is like my new warm up every day.
Good. It's good. It's
hell yeah.
Good shit.
It's literally awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great, man. Guys, I appreciate the sorry to do a hard stop here.
All good. I
have
to pee.
So do I. I got my kid to the bus.
I have to pay.
I appreciate the education. This was great. I got a lot to actually think about. That I mean, for the second half of the conversation, the first half was cool, but the second half is actually like applicable.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening, guys. If you're even still listening, this is I think this is the longest one we've ever done.
People like them.
Well,
I did a poll on my Instagram.
They wanted longer ones?
I said, would you rather, because I kind of went to an extreme. I said, would you rather have a podcast that's an hour plus or 30 minutes or less?
More people said an hour plus.
Everyone said hour plus.
That is not what the statistics are showing on YouTube.
Except for the ones that said fuck you and your podcast.
Oh, yeah. I also put fuck you and your podcast.
I voted that one.
Yeah. So I had Chelsea David's girlfriend voted fuck you and your podcast.
Which probably means they'll listen to anything.
Yeah. But
the statistics on YouTube show that 40 minutes is about where we lose people.
Yeah. I believe it. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Double that.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
Maybe it'll do twice as well or twice as bad.
I mean, we did talk a bunch of shit, and
That's
people
true.
like that. So
that's true. It'd be all right. All right.
Cool.
Anyway.
Like and subscribe. Catch you guys next time.